Hello, my friend.
Hello. It's
So,
another
uh,
it's
another day.
another Tuesday, another day. Let's get going. What are we talking about today?
So, I think we're going to talk about something that's been very true to our own hearts. That's why we're talking about it. When you put in all the effort, you give it your all, and those darned old results aren't matching the effort that you're putting in. And I want to mention, guys, we're streaming off of StreamYard. So if you're here, give us a comment because we can't see you unless you comment. And we'd love to have you join in the conversation. So, what do you think about results aren't matching the effort?
Well, yeah, I take everything to heart. So, I think, and all of us do. We don't do this um, because we don't put our heart and soul into it. We do it because we really believe in the work that we're bringing into this world, and we do give it our all. And I think it's easy to fall into the belief that just because you didn't get the result you wanted, that you did something wrong, and that's a hard pill to
Mhm.
swallow, is when the results don't don't happen the way you think they are, and even doubly hard to believe that you did nothing wrong.
Right. Well, and I think our biggest mistake is in this whole, and it's ingrained in us that our result is dependent on an outcome that is 100% out of our control.
Yeah, yeah. And but we're by. I think that what fills our mind is all everyone else that we see
Mm.
out there just being successful, blowing it out of the water, or so we think,
Right, right,
right?
right. But we don't know how many times they did that thing to get them to blow it out of the, because it seems like, man, everything this person releases, they blow it out of the water. But what if this is try number 378?
Right. Yeah. So I'm curious. If you are joining us, or, if you're listening to the replay, you know, what, I know what my go-to reaction is, and I'm curious what your go-to reaction is when you don't get the result that you're hoping for.
Yeah. I mean, what's yours?
Oh, I shut down. Like,
Yeah.
that's the first thing I do.
You
Like,
do
mm,
nothing.
yeah, I shut down, and I'm like, well, clearly this isn't for me. I was wrong about this. Like, what's the point? Like, this, yeah.
So you
Because,
do nothing to reinforce the result of not being what you wanted.
all
Yeah.
right, Coach Jen. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
funny how we do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first reaction is always a shutdown reaction, that clearly, like, I am deluding myself and this isn't meant to be, and I should just hang it all up and go do something else. Like, yeah.
Go back and get my 9 to 5 because I
Yeah.
loved that. Yeah, go into the self-doubt spiral. Exactly, Bambi. That's exact. I mean, it's the self-doubt. I think we all land there. It's my go-to is I'm not built for this. I'm not that influencer that I see.
Mhm.
How could I, me, step into that influencer role?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
that's
think,
what we to become, right?
right. Yeah.
It's the
Well,
influencer.
the belief that it has, like, you have to show up in a specific way, and who am I to show up in that way?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
No. Yeah, it is that's the self-doubt, because to be able to put something out into the world like this, right? You have to you've built this belief, and when the results don't match the belief you've built, Like you're like, "Oh, clearly I like my spirit guides are misguided."
Yeah. 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 Okay, so we're getting some comments in. This is great. Michelle said, I keep trying to do what others say I should to be successful and then disappointed when it does not work for me.
Oh,
We love that because we did that too. We followed somebody else's program, we followed somebody else's plan, we did those things as well. So the question that we always go back to is, how did it feel when you were doing somebody else's how?
mm,
And
yeah,
what would your how be?
right. And I think it's a constant checking ourselves because we're again being bombarded by the way you can be successful or the pathway to being successful, and it's like the instead we have to add onto the end for them, for that person at this time, right? Like
Mhm.
because there are so many things that I think that like the successful person is 10 years into their journey, right?
Right.
Like,
And we're
and
still toddlers.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Or um, they happen to hit on this one thing that resonated with people at this moment in time, and you're seeing it now at a different time and thinking, oh, that's the key, right? So yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure to show up in a specific way with a specific formula, and I think that's certainly one of the first steps is how do you get back in alignment with yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, because I think when you come out into this online space, there is some learning.
Mhm.
Definitely is some learning that is required. But just because somebody teaches you a certain way of doing it, I think I believe the key is making it your own. So if I use an example like posting on social media, if we want to be seen on social media, we need to post. Agreed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
We
that's
got to
one.
be out there.
Yep.
So I know I came to you one time and said, "Oh my God, so and so said that I need to post 3 times a day for 30 days." And you're like, "And how much you posting now?" It's like, "Well, once a day." And how does that feel? I was like, "Forced."
Right.
And so you take someone's to do and you lean into, because if you're pushing your way through the task, you're not going to come across the way that you want to come across. You're going to come across as pushing,
Right.
and we don't want to push anybody away. We want to bring them in.
Right. Yeah, I think that that's absolutely true. And I think the other side of the equation is we have this belief that effort creates the result right now. And it's like the timeline is often a lot more extended than we want it to be, right? So if
Oh,
I do
for
X, then I should get Y right
sure. Tomorrow.
afterwards.
Right.
Yes,
Tomorrow. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's true whether you're talking about, like what we shared, our launch and the enrollments that we, had or didn't have, but it's also related to the posting, right? Like
Yeah.
I post and I should now
Therefore,
have,
yeah.
you
Therefore,
know,
I should go viral. I'm
right.
posting 3 times a day, 30 over 30 days. Why have I not gone viral? Yeah. So you know that I believe that you have to have the belief that you're going to succeed without the doing first. I'm really leaning into, I can see the success. I can feel the success. And whatever that means to each one of us, because it's going to be different for you as it's going to be different for me. And it
Mhm.
might be a number, it might be a number of clients, it might be this outcome that is 100% out of our control, but I can see these things. And therefore, when I'm feeling that success, it's coming out in my messaging, it's coming in the things that I do. And it's like, if we don't get the result that we want, what can we learn from what we just did?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's always the opportunity for learning
Hmm.
that we need to definitely when you're ready, like it's the part where I evolve to, right? Shut down,
Yeah.
which I'm working towards. And part
Yeah.
of that is like acknowledging the disappointment. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to be disappointed. You did put your heart and soul out there and you didn't get the results that you wanted to create this time.
Right.
And so don't paint over it with like, oh, that toxic positivity and just try to push it away. Like
Yeah. Don't push it away. No, you got to
acknowledge
lean into it. Yes.
acknowledge the disappointment.
Yes.
Yes. And then the and that
Yeah.
says, what can I learn from this? What
Yes.
can I do now? How am I going to adjust my how I show up in the future?
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that you and I learned in this last round is, when we bring people into our world, it's easy to get them to take the next step. And so the thing that we learned is, we've been using, our in between times of mastery circle to get in, to bring people into our world. And it's like, oh, we need to change that.
Mm,
Good to know.
right. Right. Yeah, I mean it's usually the learning comes in, okay, what assumptions did I make
Oh yeah, for
going into
sure.
this,
Yeah.
right?
And were the
Uh,
assumptions even realistic? Something that I get, can I control the assumption that I'm
right,
putting out there?
right, right. So I think there's one is like we started out with, is the alignment in your action, in your belief, in your energy. And the other is the willingness to continuously tweak it and you know try new things out,
Yeah.
and be willing to let that result come on its own timeline without making it mean that something's gone wrong.
Yeah, and that is it possible that it's not you? It just is.
Right. Well, that's a good question. Is it possible that it's not actually just, it's not you, it's nothing that you did? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just, there was it was something else that you needed to learn from.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I think you can do everything right and still not get the outcome that you hope for. That's not a failure, that's just reality. So, it's like letting go of the assignment of your worth or your value or any of those things in the results that were created in that moment in time.
That's right, because we have plenty of proof that tells us what we have is something special. We hear it all the time. And so, why we attach that one result, that we didn't get, and think, that's it, we need to stop. Jenny, will you look at my resume and make sure I've got it updated? But because I mean, it is easy to quit. I
Right.
mean, let's be real. It is easy to go back to the 9 to 5, even though
Yeah.
we're gonna hate it.
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, and I think like that's the for me, one of the questions I asked myself is if I stopped now, if I gave up, would I be okay with that 3 months, 6 months, a year from now?
Right.
Because yeah, I mean, like there is realities in life. We all have to pay our bills. We all have to survive. And you know, the answer that I came to when I asked myself that question is no, I wouldn't be okay with the decision of giving up right now because
Yeah.
there is still fuel in the tank.
Yeah,
There's you know, yeah, I mean there's still tweaking and adjusting and learning and building beliefs that can happen that can generate the results.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Looks
Yeah.
like I'm having internet issues, of course, real life. Here we go. Okay.
Well, and I
So
think one of the comments that came through was around, you know, alignment, manifesting really the energy, right? And
mhm,
I think that is um, one of the key pieces is like, how do I show up, not just when I'm making the offer, but
right.
what's my energy when I'm doing the behind the scenes work, when I'm, you know, just commenting on a post, kind of bread and butter stuff that we feel like we have to do. Am I bringing the same energy of belief and value and that I want to bring to my clients when I am doing those kind of it would be easy to disconnect and check the boxes.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what's so beautiful about having a partnership because you and I get to lean on our own individual strengths and become, one business because there are certain things that you are definitely way better at than I am. And the same for me. And we've been able to lean in on that. And so if you not beneficial to have a partner in crime doing this with you, what are the things that you enjoy doing? And how can you lean more into those in order to start seeing more momentum or results? Because if we're constantly doing the things that we don't enjoy, there's no fun in that, right? I
No,
mean, if social is not how you want to meet people, what other ways can you meet people?
right. Yeah, that action that's aligned with who you are and
Yeah,
getting creative, and that's why I think the formula like we we lose ourselves in following other people's formulas,
for sure.
and it also cuts off our creativity and leaning into the things that we enjoy. So it's a I view it as um like a reciprocating circle. Like it's like energy and action when they're all aligned, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, like that creates the momentum
Hmm.
that will drive the result in the long term. And
And
so,
and I believe it'll drive a result that you can't even imagine.
mm, yeah. Well, this very very like in her head thinker, which is um, you know, open to the possibility that I can't imagine it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and
yeah.
it's iterative
Hmm.
and it's not all going to happen at once for
No.
most of us. So,
I
giving
mean,
ourselves
what has ever been on the timeline that we have defined? I mean, think about that in your life.
right. Right. No, that is true. I mean, like in my wisdom of almost 50 years, when the youngins graduating from high school tell me their life plan, I giggle inside, but we do that to ourselves all the
We do.
time,
We do.
in especially in business and
We do.
online business, because we're like, "Oh, well, look at this unicorn.
Mhm, mhm.
Are they really a unicorn? Or are there 10 years of trying different things till they finally achieved that unicorn success?"
And they probably found something that worked really well for them, that felt good to them, and so
Yes,
they were able to do it effortlessly. And I think the more and more we try to create somebody else's formula, I think we're going to struggle. And I
yeah,
mean, that's why we believe in, I mean, yes, we have a framework, but you define how you incorporate that framework. The same as what we're doing. It's like, let's try this. Oh, now let's try something else. I mean, we're not blowing the whole thing up. It's just little tries until we get whatever the result is that we've envisioned. But the other thing that I want to touch on is we did sign a client.
right. We did. And that client is blowing it out of the water.
She is, and she's amazing and fits right into our circle, and couldn't be more excited to have her. And I think when we focus so much on the outcome that we didn't get, we forget about the outcome we did get.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and also I just think about like the strides we've made, that we've made in the three different launches that we have had with Mastery Circle. And so we forget about how far we've come,
Oh, yeah. I mean, because it
right?
seems like just yesterday, yeah.
Yes. So I think that that's also like we focus only on the results, and then we discount how far we've grown in that time frame and fail to acknowledge that growth. And there is a lot, and there's more opportunity, yes, but celebrate what you actually accomplished. Celebrate the growth you created. I mean, there are things that you did that worked really well and you can reuse, and now
Yeah.
you build onto that, right?
Yeah, and how much easier this launch was than the previous launch, and how much easier the last workshop was than the one before that. I mean, so much to celebrate. And like you said, I mean, when we're so focused on the outcome, we miss so much along the way.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. If you're looking for some place to take some aligned action, supportive community, check out the Power Hour Club. We do it for free on Monday mornings, and it's
Mhm.
a great way to kickstart the week. And it's a great place to be reminded that we're all on this path,
Mhm.
and we can support each other.
Yeah. And of course, our planner, it's where it all started. So we have that as a tool as well. So, yes. So results may not be meeting the effort, but what if it is? And I think that's what I'm going to leave people to ponder on. What if the results are matching the effort because of all the growth and the learning and everything that we've gone through over these
Yeah,
last three launches?
yeah. So don't, and I would leave with, don't give up.
No,
Don't give
no,
up.
no, because then that
Try.
reinforces the result that
Yeah.
you're thinking. I mean, yeah,
And if you need to find a buddy to have that conversation with, I would definitely get out of your solo, all by myself.
yeah,
Everybody else is a success except for me. And just have a real conversation with someone,
yeah,
and be willing to acknowledge and share the disappointment, um, and be open to that there's a lot more to that you've gained than you've actually lost.
Yeah. All right. Until
Awesome.
next week.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.